Hi, Joe here at WoolieCottage. It's December. It isn't really, it's actually October. But I thought you might be interested in watching me putting together my Christmas advents. A bit like what I did at Easter, but this will be a bit more detailed. I'll try not let the videos be too long. It's just that last year when I did the Christmas daily uploads, it was a lot of trouble trying to get internet access and getting them uploaded in time. So I thought this year I would do something a little bit different, and you can just follow along the process of me putting these together. So each day I will show you a short video of me making the mini bats up and wrapping them. I'll talk about what's inside the fibres as well, and then if any extra gifts have gone into that day's packing, then I will tell you where I sourced it from, what it is, etc. And then if it's from a supplier in the UK that you want to be able to get hold of yourself, I will leave links in the description. What else? I'll also be doing, I've got 14 days of mini bats in subsequent different days, and in between that there's 6 luxury fibres. Now luxury fibres, plant-based fibres really is what it is. So it might be 25 grams of silk, it might be 25 grams of alpaca, or it could be 25 grams of cotton top or something like that. And what I'll do on those days while I'm packing them is I'll do a voiceover, hopefully, if I'm not talking to the camera at the same time, and I'll explain the process that I've learned of how they're actually produced. You might find similarities through a lot of them, or if it's a camel or alpaca or whatever it is that I do on those days, I'll just do you a quick reference to like a mini breed study of what it is that's going in there and anything extra that goes with that as well while I'm wrapping up and preparing that, because a lot of weighing out goes into it. I've got 13 this year on the Christmas advents, plus there's a 100-gram bat that for Christmas Day, but you'll get that upload on Boxing Day instead of Christmas Day. I know a few of you will be like, oh, I would like to watch it on Christmas Day, but no, I thought I'll leave it to Boxing Day when everybody's done everything and you're all sat there, you're feeling flumped, you've eaten too much, and I thought it would be nice to watch it on Boxing Day. So the theme for this year's Christmas advents, I've gone with Scandinavian folklore. Okay, so I will show you, and I'll put these in the inserts. So these are the inspirations for each day. Okay, so this goes, I think this one's the first one, so these are the first 7 days, and on the back of each of these they'll be wrapped up. If I don't put them inside the parcels, they'll come like this, but all printed out on the back exactly what's in the ingredients. Okay, and this one is days 8 14. Well, I say days 8 to 14. It isn't. Some of them are day 8. One of them might be day 12. The other one might be day 24. But the days will be on the back of them, and when you open them up, everything's already stickered on each little parcel with a date sticker. And a lot of people, I've been doing these for a couple of years now, and a lot of people are like, oh, I just take one when I want one. Like, they've all got dates, so they will correspond to the video that I'm doing. So stop cheating, okay? So that is what is for the next half of the Christmas advents. So I'll just do a little run through of my inspirations as to why I went with these themes. So Scandinavian art refers to a subset of Nordic art and is art specific for Scandinavian countries such as Denmark, Sweden and Norway. Also the Faroe Isles, they have very similar traditions as well. Norse art, the art of Vikings, is a form of Nordic art from a particular period of time, using symbols from nature, animals and depicting traditional stories of the gods for symbolic and decorative purposes, giving insight into local customs and their beliefs and convictions and their history. Over time has developed separately from the mainstream art from Europe due to the long-standing isolation. You say. Yeah, but when the Vikings, they went to war, there was sailing and the explorations and the invasions and everything else. Yes, but come the Middle Ages, warriors were no more. Okay, they all started to settle down into farming life instead, more peaceful way of life. So they started looking at what was around them. Nature-related motifs overtook the art world in their environment, such as flowers and birds and human motifs, referred to as tales and legends and fables, such as the Swedish flat weave rugs, become a product of timeless beauty and are very sought after now. So this picture here is inspiration from the Swedish rugs. And they got to a point in their lives where everything became a lot more elegant and beautiful and simplistic in its nature, but it was unchanging. It was creating a sense of peace, and that's what it was all about. Like there was a big hype a couple of years about the hike vibe, so creating a cozy environment, and that's exactly what it is for them. They live in cold climates most of the year. It's dark cold most of the year for them as well. I think they only have about 4.5 months where you've got daylight hours. Some of it is 24 hours of daylight. So it's they transferred from being warriors and fighting and ravaging the lands and everything else, and trying to get land for themselves so that they could farm and send the food back home. But as time went on, they become more peaceful in their environment, more settled, and this is where their artworks and their motifs all came into play, because they found a new way to look at life. So I'm going to carry on with this. I will get day one little bats. They all start in these big, I'll just give you, this is what they look like. So there's 300 grams of art bats there, and I now have to go and divide them up into, I'm going to do 14, so I've got one spare left over. 14 mini bats, and then each day, as I say, we'll come along with the fibre that I'm producing that day or messing around with and putting together, and I will talk it through. So I hope you enjoy this series of Christmas Day Advent videos over the next 24 days. Leave your comments below. I really appreciate any feedback that you get, and also tag me on Instagram or on Facebook, and show up your what you've made or what you got in your pack. Some of the gifts might be slightly different from each other. Some of the fibres might be slightly different colours, but you've all got the same breed in the bats. It's just the way that they get blended, come out sometimes looking a little bit different from the others. That's just the way it's all been placed inside the fibres. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this video. So that was it. That was day one. It's already been pre-blended. I've done them all a couple of weeks ago. Everything was all dyed back in August. Everything was all blended up into the larger bats last month. So I keep some secrets to myself. But this one is based on, I'll show you the little picture. It'll be in the pop-up just about here, and you'll see the theme for day one. And it has got in this hand-dyed finish wool, pineapple fibres, tencel fibres, and merino with the tussar silk and flax. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, don't really like spinning flax. I quite like it. I like spinning flax with wool. Some people say, oh, it's stiff and it's got no movement in it and everything else. Well, if you've ever worked with flax linen before, and you've used it in a blended consistency, it does soften in time with usage and wear, okay? More times it's been washed, or if it's been used. I use it a lot in my woven projects. It's a fibre that I really do enjoy using, and as I say, it does soften down in time. It does, when the more you wear it, the more it starts to soften and become more flexible, just like it would with the wool. And there's hints of stellina in here as well, but very, very subtle and not a lot of it. You've got these greeny colours in there, and there's golds in there, and there's the very soft sandy beige colours that are complementary to the picture. There's often the tiniest little hint of pink in there, but not a lot, because there's a slight very pale salmony colour that's in the picture as well. Now, all my pictures for every day of the week, they're inspired by, so I may pick a colour out that stands out more than anything else on the picture and use that as my base background, and then work from there to build up the colours and the hints and everything else into it. I might not have gone with a very dark green, really dark olive green, but I've got paler greens in there instead, because I just thought it would look prettier that way. Okay, so my next task now is to wrap up all of these into tiny little tissue paper parcels without the paper ripping, and dating them. So wish me luck, because that's what we've got to do next. So there we go, that is 14 day ones of mini bats, 25 grams in each of those. And as I said earlier on, it is, let me just find the page, a hand-dyed Finnish wool with pineapple, tencel, merino, tissue silk, flax, and a very small touch of stellina throughout those. This is just the gentlest of little sparkle in it. Tomorrow is another mini bat, so come back, put your alerts on the side of the subscriptions, and you'll be told that it's available to watch, usually first thing in the mornings, UK time. Thank you ever so much for taking part in my daily advents throughout the month of December. I hope you enjoy them. Any comments or suggestions, put them down below, and I will get back to you when I see them.